on behalf of the, well, first let me introduce myself. My name is Mike Wasdala, and I'll be your master of ceremonies tonight. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. And I promise to have you out of here by 11:30. So please enjoy this. No, we'll be out earlier than that, trust me. I want to also welcome you from the Board of Directors to the 32nd Annual Bay County Sports Hall of Fame, and sponsored and presented by our good friends from Renew Physical Therapy. Renew came on board this year. We asked them to be our premier sponsor. They did a great job. We thank them for their support. And I would like to they have a table in the back, and they probably didn't know I was going to do this, but if you would give Renew Physical Therapy a big round of applause for being our premier sponsor. They're all in the back there by the shot clock. Thank you, guys. We appreciate it. Also, for you folks that are speaking tonight, if you look back to the back by the Bay County TV camera, that is what we call a shot clock. So if any of you have a tendency to be winded, you have exactly 1/4 of basketball to say whatever you need to say. If you don't do it in 8 minutes, we got 440 volts right below me. So you'll feel it, okay? So if you could, please stick to that 8-minute rule. Again, thank you all for coming tonight. Our first guest for the Bay County Proclamation is Commissioner Vaughn Begic. So give Vaughn a big hand, and former board member.
Try to keep it under 8 minutes. I'm Vaughn Begic, Chair of the Bay County Board of Commissioners. This is our proclamation that we passed on 9/19/23. The Bay County Sports Hall of Fame was established 32 years ago for the purpose of recognizing athletic excellence in Bay County. And whereas the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame will be inducting the 1987, 1989, and 1990 Bay City All Saints softball squads, the 1973 Bay City Central Boys golf team, the 1993 Bay City Western wrestling team, Heidi Hoyle, Joe Denay, Mike Kayner, Jill Lebourdais, Scott Mackey, Joe Ricard, and Jim Tesner. And whereas the President's Award will be presented to Marty Gottesman, and scholarship awards will be presented to Cameron Washington, Bay City Central, Olivia Jacek, Bay City Western, Brody Krzyzak, John Glenn, Bain Davis, Essexville Garber, Jack Betcher, Pim Conning, and Ryan McDonald, Bay City All Saints. Whereas the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame will be honoring these individuals at a banquet to be held on Sunday, November 5th, 2023. Whereas the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame is to be commended for their efforts in recognizing these outstanding individuals within our community. Therefore, be it resolved that the Bay County Board of Commissioners and Bay County Executive pay tribute to these outstanding athletes, individuals, and scholars, and offer best wishes to the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame for continued success in their efforts. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Vaughn, for doing that from the Bay County. If you would all stand up, and we're going to say the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the invocation from Kathy Dardis. Flag's over here to my right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. If you would please remain standing for the invocation from Kathy Dardis, one of our board members.
We gather tonight to honor the extraordinary achievements of our honored guests. We are filled with gratitude for their dedication, passion, and resilience that have brought them to the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame. Bless this gathering and the individuals we celebrate. May their stories inspire us to reach new heights, to overcome challenges, and to always strive for excellence in our lives. Let us express gratitude for the friendships formed, the lessons learned, and the joy shared through their accomplishments. May this banquet be a moment of reflection, appreciation, and inspiration to all present. Bless this food prepared. We give thanks to all who have prepared and serve our meal. In your name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Kathy. Okay, next on the agenda, I would like to do some introductions of our Hall of Fame Board of Directors. This is a group that we meet once a month for 8 or 9 months to get this shindig going. So it's a great group to work with. First of all, they're all in the back. I would like to introduce the president of the Hall of Fame. If you just hold your applause, we'll get them all to stand up. We'll do that at the end. President Jen Thunberg in the back. Vice President Dan McAvoy. Secretary Lee Thompson. Treasurer Ned Klinke. Board members Mike Debo, Sean Sullivan, and Kathy Dardis, and Jocelyn could not be here tonight, Jocelyn Jamrock. So here's our 2023 Hall of Fame Board of Directors. Always a lot of fun when we started having our meetings after hours, after everybody gets out of work, and that's turned out to be a lot of fun. Okay, we have some past inductees in the audience tonight, so if you would, please stand up. We'll hold our applause to the very end. Beth Duquan, saw Beth earlier. Lynn Zipka-Berger, part of those great All Saints teams. Pete Pafford, where's Pete? There he is, right in front of us. Bruce Patterson. Bruce right here. Mike Gakin in the back. Coach Morley Frazier. Joe Today. President Award winner Jeff Doan, straight back by the cameras. Fred Nearing. There's Fred's right here in front. Steve Goss, saw Steve earlier. Gary Stefaniak, right over here to my left. Ed Harvey, right over here to my left. Coach Jeff Beisel, my old coach. Where's Coach Beisel? Right over here with the Cougars. Brad Walraven. Where's Brad? Hey, by the way, happy 45th reunion. Brad and I graduated together. And is Sally Beaver here for Charlie? Where's Sally? All right, Sally, she's here. So how about a big round of applause for all our inductees, past inductees. Did I miss anybody? Okay, next up to introduce our Hall of Fame scholarship winners will be the president of the scholarship committee, and Mike Debo will introduce our scholarship winners. All the money that we have raised tonight through all of our fundraising and our premier sponsorships, all that money goes to our scholarships for our 6 student athletes, $750 scholarships to each one of these student athletes. So please welcome Mike Debo and our 6 scholarship winners.
It's my honor to recognize the scholarship for 2023 this evening. The $750 scholarships are funded from our fundraising in tonight's banquet. So thank you for your support. First up, we have Cameron Washington from Central. Cam played basketball for 4 years. He was first team all-conference, 2 times second team all-conference. Cam ended up over 1,000-point scorer, ended up 4th in the history for Bay City Central. He was 3-time MLive Dream Team. He was a Team First Award winner from B Camp, and he was All-State Honorable Mention his senior year. Cameron was a Unified Champion member, youth sports coach, and an official, and a member of the Leo Club. Cameron is the son of DeVal Washington and Maria Cyan. He is currently attending Delta and will be playing basketball in the future, and is currently going to be coaching at, I don't know how Central let you go. You're going over to Kristen McAuliffe to coach middle school, and is majoring in occupational health. Congratulations to Cam. Next up from Western is Ilvia Jacek. She played volleyball, basketball, and softball for 4 years. She was honorable mention all-conference, all-region, and all-county for volleyball. In basketball, she was honorable mention all-conference and M-Live Dream Team honorable mention. For softball, she was second team all-conference, first team all-conference for 2 years, all-district, and M-Live Dream Team for 2 years. She was named academic all-state for volleyball, basketball, and softball. She was a member of the National Honor Society, the Bay Area Chamber of Commerce Youth Leadership Program, and co-captain for Relay for Life team, and maintained a GPA of 3.62. She is the daughter of John and Heather Jacek. She is currently attending Saginaw Valley State University, majoring in occupational therapy, and is on the softball team. Next we have from John Glenn, Brody Krizak. He played football and baseball for 4 years and basketball for 2 years. Brody was all-district for 3 years, all-region team, all-state for 2 years, academic all-state 2 years, M-Live Dream Team 3 years. He was, the Prep Baseball Report recognized him as preseason all-state in 22 and 23, and preseason game All-American recognized him for 2023. He was also selected to play in the high school all-star game at Comerica Park this past summer. He was named academic all-state in football. Brody was also a member of the National Honor Society, volunteer for Adopt a Highway, was involved with Northwest Little League, the Saginaw Bay River Dogs as youth instructor, and maintained a 4.21 GPA. Brody is the son of Mark and Rebecca Krizak. He is currently attending Oakland University, majoring in finance, and is on the baseball team. Congratulations. From Exville Garber, Bain Davis. Bain played volleyball and soccer for 4 years, and basketball for 2 years, and track for 1. Didn't try any other sports, Bain? She was first team all-conference, all-district, M-Live Dream Team for soccer for 2 years, and second team all-state. Bain was academic all-state in basketball and volleyball. She was involved in DECA, a member of the National Honor Society, and worked at youth camps and was official for volleyball for youth games. Bain maintained a 3.8 GPA. She is the daughter of Matthew and Wendy Davis, and is attending CMU, majoring in accounting, and on the soccer team at CMU. Congratulations, Bain. Next from Pinconning, we have Jack Betcher. Jack played football and baseball for 4 years and basketball for 2 years. He was honorable mention all-conference for football 1 year. In baseball, he was first team all-conference, first team all-district for 3 years. He was named the Offensive Player of the Year for 2 years, MVP for the team. He was M-Live Dream Team for 2 years, and All-State Honorable Mention his senior year. Jack was a member of the National Honor Society and the Renaissance Program and maintained a 3.57 GPA. Jack is the son of Rebecca Knuckle. He is currently attending Lake Michigan College, majoring in finance and accounting and playing baseball. Congratulations to Jack. From Bay State All Saints is Ryan McDonald. Ryan played football for 4 years, basketball, and bowling for 3 years. He was first team all-conference for football for 1 year. He was second team all-conference for football 2 years and was the Golden Helmet winner, weekly winner in 21 and 22, and was MVP for football. I'm sure I would have been announcing several more awards, but unfortunately he had a major knee injury his third game of the season and took him out for his senior year. He was named the most improved player in basketball for 2 years. He was the 2023 Michigan High School Athletic Scholar Athlete Award winner for Class D. Ryan was president of the National Honor Society, president of the Yellow Club, and vice president of Student Council Executive Board. He took part in the Bay Area Chamber of Commerce Youth Leadership Program and was very active in Corpus Christi Parish and maintained a 4.1 GPA. Ryan is the son of Daniel and Kathy McDowell and is currently attending Michigan State University and majoring in human biology. Again, congratulations to our award winners. You can see that these female and male athletes are very, very honored with the award that they received here tonight. So thank you again.
And next up, I would like to introduce the president of the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame. 13 years? She's been a president for 13 years, and she's the one that keeps this group going, does a great job. Please welcome Jen Thunberg.
Good evening. I won't spend a lot of time talking because we want to get to all of our inductees, and we just have a great crowd tonight. It's great to see 5 tables from the Western crew over there and another 4 tables from our All Saints crew over here. It's just great to see the amount of people that came out tonight. And I have to thank Tim Tobin for wrapping me into this mess 13 years ago, because I was not going to do, he's very good at wrapping me into all these little extra duties, and I can't seem to get rid of them. So Tim, thank you for that. I appreciate all of you being here this evening. One thing that we do want to introduce is we've been really trying to modernize our Hall of Fame over the years. Some people remember when we were at the community center. Some of those community center displays are still up there, but our main house now is at the Dow Bay Area Family Y. You can see our display there. There's plaques there. There's a kiosk where you can scroll through and see our inductees. And that kiosk has been down for a while because our technology, if you know technology, it's constantly changing. And so now we have a brand new website that we're actually introducing today. You can see our new website that's going to be up there. You're going to be able to very easily look on that website, even from your own home. You'll be able to see all of our inductees, all of the teams that have been put in. It's a great place if you want to nominate someone for the Hall of Fame. This is the first day we're actually showing this new website that is going to be very modern and much more user-friendly to get to. I know many of you bought your tickets for this banquet from our old website. We're hoping that this new one is something that you can go to and you can see about your teams, about the inductees that are here tonight. That will all be on this website. So this is the first night we're introducing it. Just wanted to show it to you. It will be live now from this day forward. We are doing a little bit of switching over from our old website, so please be patient with that. But this is our newest endeavor with the Hall of Fame. So check out our new website. Thank you very much for being here tonight. I'm going to leave it at that because we have Mike to talk about all of our wonderful people who are here tonight. I do want to send a very special shout out to Marty Gottesman, who's our President's Award winner tonight and who is a mentor of mine, somebody I've worked closely with, and I appreciate you being here tonight and that you're getting this award tonight. So thank you for being here.
Okay, also one more announcement. If you would like to buy a membership tonight, we have a special $20, and in that 20, but wait, there's more. You get, sound like I'm on the telethon with my friend Jeff Doan back there. You get a glass with that $20 membership. So after the banquet's over, you get a membership and a glass, 12 ounces, and trust me, they do work very well. All right, our first inductee tonight is, like Jen said, is our President's Award winner. Our President Award winner is nominated by our President, and it goes to the unsung heroes of athletics, the guys behind the scene, the guys that are doing a lot of work, but you don't know that they're doing it. So when you talk about a President Awards winner, you're really talking about an unsung hero, a tireless worker, and that person is Mr. Marty Gottesman. Marty was a teacher, athletic director, co-op coordinator, assistant principal, Bay City Schools district administrator. He was basically a jack of all trades and a master of none with the Bay City Schools. Spent most of his career at Bay City Western, and Marty was the first athletic director I worked for in Bay City. Marty, it was an honor and a privilege to work for you for those few years. He continues to be the executive secretary and master scheduler for the Saginaw Valley League. He's been doing that since 1983. Marty was the AD at Western for 20 years, facility director from 79 to 85, and oversaw many of the upgrades in the facilities of fields, gyms, and tracks at both Bay City Central and Bay City Western. Marty was also the president of Career Placement Association and the 1990 Co-op Coordinator of the Year. Marty retired, and I use that term loosely, from education in 2010, but is still active in the Saginaw Valley League and has served as volunteer chair of the Marshals for the LPGA's Dow Great Lakes Bay Invitational at the Midland Country Club. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the 2023 President Award winner to the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame, Mr. Marty Gottesman.
Thank you for the introduction this evening. I definitely want to thank everybody from the Bay County Hall of Fame for this honor. I'm very humble about it. And I want to thank my wife, Marcia, who's here tonight, and my son, Eric, who couldn't make it, but he's 46. So if you remember me when I was an athletic director and I had this little shadow following me around, he was about 4, maybe 5, and now he's 46. So it's very interesting. But I want to also thank one special person. It's the late Gene Wurzing. And he was our Booster Club president when I became an athletic director. And when I became an athletic director, I had no clue what I was supposed to do. Because in 1978-79, Bay City didn't have any sports. And so when we came into 79-80, the year I started as an AD, Gene Wurzing called me up one day and says, "How can I help you?" And I says, "Well, you know, I have the schedule and I have no opponents. You know, all we had was the Saginaw Valley League schedule, but for our non-league schedule, they hired us in August for September." So it was something that he helped me with, and he stayed with me 25 years. He was my scorekeeper in the press box for 25 years. He was the person who was spearheading to build Western Stadium that we didn't have. All we had was a football field and lights, no bleachers, no press box, no concession. We didn't play our games there. And within 3 years, we put that all together, and Western High School had all their football games at home, because we used to have to share Central High School and Handy High School at that time. So that takes care of, you know, starting out as an AD. But when I started out and we had that no schedule, I had to figure out how to build schedules. And because of that, Dick Leach was our executive director of our league, and I looked at all his schedules and I figured out how he made them. And because of that, when he retired 2 years down the road, Tim Topin became the executive director. And of course, Tim asked me if I would continue making schedules because I knew how to make them. And from that day on, I was the executive director of scheduling for the Saginaw Valley League. And when Tim retired, Pete Ryan took over as the executive director, and he wouldn't take the job unless I came with the job. So it was something that I have had for over 40 years, and I still do it. And like this Tuesday, I will give them next year's schedule. And this is what I want to remind everybody here in Bay City. If you have children getting married in the next year or two, call me, because I know all the dates of all the events in the Bay City schools, and I can help you out, because you know, you don't want to be having a wedding or some other occasion and you don't know it, but the coach would be mad if your child missed it. So It was something very special, to do that. And the other thing I always describe myself as is air traffic controller. When I make all these schedules, you have to remember, I put these little A or a little H in the box, which is the opponent, so they know whether it's a home or away game. So far, I'm batting 1,000. Everybody has gone to the right place at the right time for the last 40 years. So I look at that and I say, hallelujah, I'm doing things right. So that's it. Receiving this award is not just a personal achievement, but it also reminds me of the responsibility that comes with it. I continue to work diligently, not only to uphold the standards associated with the honor, but I also give back to the people and the community that support me. I have always had great athletic directors to work with, and that's what made my job 10 times easy. And of course, executive directors were the other. And I'm very proud of, and Tim Tobin will tell you, our Scholar Athlete Banquet every spring is the highlight of the Saginaw Valley League, where we give out honors to a male and female athlete and to a teacher in the building, which is the Tim Tobin Award. And I will tell you, I am very proud that I have done that project for 40 years, and I just love it every year I do it. In closing, I'm humbling and inspired by the continuation of the special things that we do for the community. And one of the things that I can always remember in my 53 years of being in Bay City, I accomplished some major projects that I've done in my career. I've had many jobs, many careers of different kinds of responsibilities. And if you looked at Auburn Elementary and Hampton Elementary, those were two projects that I've refurbished the building as the building project manager of. So if you ever go in those two buildings, you will see some of the work. That was a 5-month project, 7 days a week, and I'm very proud of that. The other project that I was very proud of is hosting 2 state track meets in Bay City, which is tremendous for Bay City and the surrounding areas that had part of that opportunity to host. And I'm just thrilled that I can assist anybody. The key for me now staying and doing what I do is to mentor other new athletic directors, executive directors, like Jenny said, to carry on the tradition of the Saginaw Valley League and make it the best that it is in the state of Michigan. So thank you again to the Bay County Hall of Fame for honoring me tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Marty. Congratulations. I do remember Eric sitting in staff meetings and when you had all the coaches together. So next, I would like to have all the individual inductees come up onto the dais here and sit in front of your plaque. So if all the individuals will come up and we'll get the program started some more. So come on up. Let's give them a big hand. Everybody all set? Okay. This is part of the class. We got 3 teams that'll be coming up here soon. So we'll get started. Our first inductee of tonight is the swimming champion from Bay City Central, Major General Heidi Hoyle. In her early years, Heidi took swimming classes at the YMCA, and sooner after that, she became an elite swimmer. When she arrived at Bay City Central, she helped her team to 3 straight Saginaw Valley League championship runner-up finishes. Her coach, Sue Martin, said that Heidi was the ultimate team member and would do anything she asked for the team. Heidi shined on the local swimming scene. She was named MVP as a sophomore and team MVP in her final 3 seasons. As a senior, she won the Saginaw Valley League title 100 breast and 200 IM. She capped her season by qualifying for the state finals in the 100 breaststroke and the 200 IM. Heidi, being an excellent swimmer and student, was noticed by the military academy. She would earn all 4 varsity letters qualifying for the Patriot League finals and named the team captain her senior year. Heidi is currently the Director of Operations for the Office of Deputy Chief of Staff in Washington, D.C. Heidi has served her country during Operation Enduring Freedom and Operation Iraqi Freedom, and receiving the Bronze Star and Distinguished Service and Joint Service Medals. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Major General Heidi Hoyle to the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame.
Hello, Bay City. All right, you need more coffee. I can feel it. It is great to be home. There are so many faces that I have not seen in many, many years. The clock has started, and if I would be 8 minutes in one of my races, I would be a failure. So I promise you that I will be short and sweet today. Yesterday, as my husband and I flew in to Bay City, we met my great friend from high school, Monica, and her husband, Chris, and we did what every great American in the city of Bay City does. We went to the casinos. And while we were out there, there was a lady who was celebrating her 100th birthday. And I thought, what a great way for me to think of my remarks tonight. And so I'm going to give you a quote from General MacArthur, who over 100 years ago said, "Upon the fields of friendly strife are sown the seeds of victory, that upon other fields on other days will bear the fruits of victory." And so I'll break this down into 3 parts: the past, the present, and the future. And so 1990, go into the past. Tonight, my high school principal, my grade school principal, some of the people that I went to school with, my brother's teammates, I mean, so many people here in our past. But I also met some individuals tonight who were members of our military, maybe not dating back to General MacArthur, but definitely Vietnam veterans. And so I ask anyone who served in the military, if you could please stand up to be recognized. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd love to appreciate your service. Let me move on to the present. Again, it's 1990, not today's present, but there was a wonderful woman in my life then, Coach Sue Martin. And as I was swimming my senior year, actually it was junior year in high school, I received a recruiting letter from West Point. You know, it talked about the great swimming pool that they had here, the universal weight system. Anybody remember universal weights? Right, football coach, right? Yes, I see you. Right, you know, it was some of the things that they talked about, the career that you could have in the military, and I thought, absolutely not. There is no way that I would enter the military. I'm a night owl. I should be a bartender. I should not be an Army officer. But Sue Martin said, fill it out. Fill out the paperwork, apply. And you know, over time, that application turned into a letter of acceptance, and it turned into July 3rd, 1990, when Mom and Dad took me up to West Point. And as we got dropped off by our parents, Dad reached to his, back pocket. Mom said, "You don't have to go. You can stay. You can go home. You don't have to stay here." Dad reached into his back pocket, holding his wallet, and he said, "You absolutely have to stay here. I cannot afford to send you to a different college." Right. So here I am today, and we talk about the future. And one of the things that I kind of remember in the future, going past graduation in 1990, and to all of our scholarship recipients tonight, I say remember those days that your parents are there watching you in the stands, the days that your coaches and your high school counselors are there in the stands watching you, because one day they won't be there by presence, but they will be there by spirit. And just honor those days and remember those days that Bay City is behind you no matter where you are in the world. And for that, I say thank you to the Bay City Hall of Fame, the Sports Hall of Fame, to our coaches past and present, to our friends and family. Thank you for this honor.
Thank you, Heidi. Casinos and a cold one. That's a good combination, isn't it? It certainly is. That's Bay City. Our next inductee was very well known on the Bay City bowling scene, and that bowler is Jim Tesner. Jim has an amazing record not only as a competitor, but also as a bowling coach, and his competition resume is incredible. He has been a Bay City Bowling Association All-Star 35 times, as well as the Bowler of the Year in 1986 and 1987. He also won 14 statewide tournaments, was part of the 1985 tournament team that won a title, and the 95 UAW National Championship. He also bowled in the 1996 World Team Challenge. Jim bowled on the Michigan Majors Tour where he won 4 titles. He was Bowler of the Year in '86 and went into the Michigan Majors Hall of Fame in 1983. With all that, Jim's greatest thrill is working with local youth bowlers here in the Bay City area. He assisted with programs at Bay City Central and Bay City John Glenn and both Garber teams for 19 seasons. During this time at Garber, he helped the Lady Dukes to win the Division III state championship. Jim is also a member of the Michigan High School Bowling Coaches Hall of Fame, being inducted in 2020. If you would please welcome Jim Tesner to the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame.
Oh, Heidi, you only use 4 minutes. That means I get 12? No, not really. But I got my cheat sheet here because when you get to be my age, memory isn't quite like it used to be. Actually, it was never really that good, but that's another story for another day. Anyway, I want to thank Lee Thompson for nominating me. Okay, and it is quite an honor. And for those that voted for me, that made this day very, very special. And I also want to congratulate the other inductees on this very special day. But I want to make this perfectly clear. This is not just about me. It just isn't. Sure, I'm proud of my personal accomplishments, but I'm more proud of what I've been able to share with others. And first of all, my family, my daughter Renee. There's some special moments. We've shared a lot of things, but some things just kind of stand out. We went out to Vegas to compete in a mixed doubles shootout, and it was a really long day, but it was an exciting day. And no, we didn't win, but we made it to the semifinals before we got eliminated. And my other daughter, Angela, we were on the same team together when not once, but twice she shot 300. And my wife Barb, together we won the Bay City Times mixed doubles at Monitor Lanes. So those were special moments that I shared with my family. And I guess I could point out that yesterday we celebrated 57 years of marriage, so I guess that's special too. Then there's my other family. My family at Essexville Garber High School. The legendary John Wooden, coach at UCLA, he said one time, "It's amazing what can be accomplished when no one cares who gets the credit." And the great Dean Smith from North Carolina, when you make a basket, you acknowledge the person that gave you the pass. See, nobody makes it through life and is successful without assists from others. And the first person I would like to acknowledge is the athletic director at Garber, Dave Schwartz. You know, he's heard this from me probably 1,000,000 times. Well, Dave, this is 1,000,001. I thank you for all your support over the last 19 years. And Gary Binder, who's been a big help to me and to the team over the last 5 years. All that help is really appreciated. Okay, page 2. Okay, now I would like to introduce to you some very, very special young ladies. As I call your name, please stand and be recognized. Taylor Osterhout, Ireland Mihalak, Maya Yanovich, and Brooke Binder. Taylor Adams and Brittany Rohde was also on the team, but they were unable to make it today. And Alina Grauberg, she's out in Vegas celebrating her 21st birthday. But, so, that's, okay, the reason they're so special is because in March of 2020, they made history at Garber High School. They became the first team in any sport to win a state championship in the 56-year history of Garber High School. So that was quite an accomplishment. And that same year, they were selected as the team of the year from Bay County. Out of all the schools and all the sports in all the schools in Bay County, they were selected team of the year. So that is another special accomplishment. So congratulations. Okay, so ladies, keep moving forward in your life to what's in front of you, and you will achieve many more great things in your life. And I really believe that a big part of the reason I'm up here today is because of them. And that's why I wanted them here, and I'm so proud of them and that they are here to help me share this. And it is my vision and my hope that one day they will also be up here and be inducted into the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame. Okay, and finally, some people dream of success. Others, well, they stay awake and achieve it. That's because the road to success is always under construction. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you, ladies, for being here tonight. Our first team being inducted tonight is the state runner-up golf team from 1973, 50 years ago, the Bay City Central Wolves. With a rookie head coach named Tim Tobin, the team of Pafford, Patterson, Watkins, Johnson, Adams, and Roberson went to the state finals in golf. The Wolves shot a team score of 318 in 1973 and finished one stroke behind the state championship team Plymouth Salem. Pete Pafford on that day won the state championship, shooting the 74 in a sudden death playoff. The year before, the 1972 Wolves squad won the Saginaw Valley East title and a fourth place finish in the state tournament. The following year, the Wolves made another run as they were conference champs again and winning the third straight Bay County championships. The Wolves finished runner-up at the regionals, getting them to the state tournament again, playing very tough matches that were very close. The Wolves lost that tough one to Plymouth Salem in the state championship by one stroke, and after 50 years, the Wolves have never posted a better season. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Coach Tim Tobin and the 1973 Bay City Central golf team to the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame.
First of all, I'd like to thank the Hall of Fame Board of Directors. I was part of that group for 15 years. The 2023 inductees, of course. I'd like to thank Lee Thompson. He does a great job with the MLive articles on all the inductees. He just does a great job. I have to introduce my wife. Not quite 57 years, Jim, but 56, Jan Tobin. 50 years ago, let's just review it a little. 1973, Richard Nixon was president. The end of the Vietnam War, that's a good thing. Could buy a home for $32,000. Gas was 40 cents a gallon, and the Bay City Central golf team was state runner-up. Those are the big accomplishments. I'd like to say a little bit about the team, and then I want the guys to come up. They were 12-0 in dual meets. County champs, they won by 35 strokes. They were valley champs. They were regional runner-up and state runner-up. That's pretty good. Best in the history of the 101-year-old Central High School. Okay, guys, come on up. I'd just like to say a little bit about each player. Sorry that Mark Roberson is not here and Rick Watkins. Both those guys were part of this team, and we tried like heck to find them, and I just wasn't able to do that, and no one else was as well. They were a very integral part. Rick played on the, he was one of the 4 guys at the state championship. He was a guy that averaged 83, and I think he shot 83. Doug Adams was a sophomore at the time, so we left him home. He went on to be a very good player, as a lot of you probably know. He's been on the county, he's won the first, second flight out there, won the senior flight. He's pretty well known around the area. Pat Johnson. Patrick? Pat had a low score of 74 and a high score, I won't tell about the high score. At the state tournament, he started a little slow, but he finished with 4 straight pars. Made a big deal. It really helped us to be the state runners-up, obviously. Pat did a great job. I'm kind of disorganized here. Oh, here we go. Pete Pafford, averaged 76 strokes, state champion, regional champion, 5-time Bay County champion. He coached also, he gave back to the community. Bruce Patterson. Bruce missed the state championship by 1 stroke, which made us all feel kind of bad, but he was a great player. He went on to become the director of golf at Butler National in Chicago. It's a huge job. He did it for many, many years. And he's going to be going in next week to the Illinois PGA Hall of Fame as well. He was a tremendous player. Both Bruce and Pete Pafford played at the University of Michigan and lettered and did very well. I think Pete was a freshman. He was 5th in the Big Tens. That's pretty impressive. As I said earlier, Bay City Central is 101 years old. These guys played in 1973 when it was 51 years old. And to this day, they're still the best Bay City Central golf team in the history of those 101 years. It was an honor and a privilege to coach them. We had a lot of fun. I didn't really coach them. They coached themselves. I drove them to the meets. I even got lost doing that a couple of times. But somehow we ended up 2nd in the state by only 1 stroke. And that was kind of a big deal, but what an accomplishment. I'd like to thank the guys for showing up tonight. Thank all of the inductees and the Hall of Fame. Thank you.
Okay, congratulations, guys. Our next inductee into the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame is the legendary hockey coach of the Bay City Wolves, Mike Kayner, or as the current coach of the Wolves calls him, Mr. Hockey. Coach Kayner led the Bay City Wolves for 24 years, bringing together players from both Bay City Central and Bay City Western. The 1984 graduate of T.L. Handy loved playing hockey in his backyard with his brother Pat. This is kind of where it started. After graduation, he played a little in Sweden and junior hockey in Ontario. He also played college hockey at the University of Wisconsin-Superior and Bethel College. During his 24 years at the helm of the Bay City Wolves, he compiled a record of .345, .257, and .27, and in those 24 years only had 5 losing seasons. During his tenure, he won 4 regional championships and a trip to the state semifinals in 2015. In 2014, Mr. Hockey and his Bay City Wolves won the Saginaw Valley League title. Coach Kayner's hockey knowledge, his teaching skills, his ability to develop hockey players, and getting kids to come out to play hockey and get them committed to the program was the key to the Wolves' success. Coach Kayner hung up his skates following the 2019-2020 season, but is still remembered as the face of hockey in Bay City. If you would, please welcome Mr. Hockey of Bay City, Coach Mike Kayner, to the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame.
I'd like to say thank you to the Hall. Appreciate the opportunity, and thank everybody. I think probably the theme is we can't do it by ourselves. There's a lot of people behind the scenes, a lot of people that really deserved a thank you with the way things kind of come to an end. But I'd like to make sure I get a few thank yous in there, and some of them are obviously my former players and alumni. Some of them come back and help coach over the years. Also, I have on the sheet is Mr. Tobin, who gave me a chance and hired me almost 30 years ago. Took a chance on somebody moving back home and getting a program started. Also, the support of athletic directors and administration, such as Morley Frazier, Jim Urich. You don't make it very long if you don't have their support, and their support over the years was huge behind the scenes and different things. Also, I can't go without mentioning the 3 guys that put an ad in the second page of the Bay City Times. I forgot what it's called, but back then there was an ad in the second page, and it was Tim Lynch, Ziggy Kazicki, Carl Lopheim, and they said they were having a meeting at the Central Cafeteria for anybody interested in high school hockey. I showed up and they welcomed me in, and here we are, a lot of years later. So like I say, that was back in 1994. We had 2 years as a club team until we got approval by the board and stuff to become a varsity team. So I'd like to make sure they get recognized, for their help and stuff getting things going. Also, family and friends. I gotta go that way. They're over there. But my son Thomas, my daughter Erin, again, they got to grow up around it, and like Morley said, there really isn't a better environment than that for kids to grow up and be around and be part of. My son couldn't be here. He's still playing hockey. He's at Liberty College. Daughter Erin is at Elma and cheering. So again, they've been able to continue. They had a good experience growing up around stuff and things like that. I don't know if my parents thought much about hockey when they got married. They got married in February, and the hockey season is during the winter, and so they spent a lot of wedding anniversaries at the ice rink, and I think it's 57, 58 for them. So again, want to thank them for all their commitment and time, and allowing my brother and I to rinks and following grandkids around. So thanks. Like Mike mentioned, the love of the sport, and that started in the backyard. Dad dragging the hose up and down, freezing the ice at 2, 3 in the morning, that type of thing, on Erie Street and Webb Drive. Some broken windows, garages, neighbors, those types of things. But you know, that it's still there. We still enjoy it. I'm still coaching. I'm still involved. I wasn't ready to be done, but you know, I'm still helping out. I went back a couple of years ago, helped one of my alumni with his kids team and stuff like that, and currently coaching a 14-year-old team out of Saginaw. Actually, we had a game this morning, so I already got my game in for the day before we came here. But you know, again, if it wasn't for that opportunity to just enjoy it, we just played in the neighborhood. You know, a group of kids, we'd go out, we'd find a way to compete or whatever. It wasn't just, you know, on the rink in the backyard. It was anything in the neighborhood to play and stuff. And I think some of that's maybe changed over the years. But, you know, again, the neighborhood stuff like that, and that's really where it started. And I'm still, you know, the searching, the learning, becoming hopefully better. I know I am over the years. Hopefully we've passed some of that on to the kids, you know, to take something from the bigger picture. There's moments, there's goals, there's, you know, things like that stand out for some more than others. You know, walking into the semifinals and hearing the roar of the crowd underneath in the tunnel, you know, things like that. You know, those are things that'll stick with you. I run into a lot of alumni when I'm reffing and just out and about, and they've got kids. So, you know, I think we've done a pretty good job, hopefully. You know, kind of said if kids continue to come back and sign up next year, we didn't screw it up too bad. And so we kept them involved, and to see that kind of continue to grow and stuff there. So, but, you know, we see them out and about. A couple of the resources, things that maybe got me to this point, and like I say, hopefully the players took a little more of the X's and O's. The Inside Out Coaching by Joe Ehrman, a former NFL football coach from probably the 70s from the Colts, has some great stuff. And he talks about transformational coaching versus transactional coaching. That one stuck with me since that book and information come out. Another one is What Drives Winning. It's more video and stuff, maybe a little more current in that aspect. But, you know, one of the things there was they talked to one of the coaches, and he quoted a Coach Stagg from the early 1900s, football coach, won a national championship. And he said, you know, what do you think of your team? You know, you kind of get asked that, right? Sometimes what team, what players, and his response was, ask me in 20 years. So I tried to adopt that 20-year perspective and you know, check back down the road and I'll have a better answer. So it's not all about the wins, loss, and stats and stuff. And I'll wrap it up with one other source, and you know, why sports and what maybe draws us to us, or draws us into it, keeps us in. And it's from a wrestling book, Wrestling Tough by Mike Chapman. And they talk about flow. There's a sports psychologist there. And he said, what the incredibly powerful lure of sports and performing at a high level, and what it is it provides a deep sense of enjoyment that is long cherished, and that becomes a landmark in memory for the way life could be. And I think, you know, that's what keeps us coming back and keep going. And that's the stuff we will take with us, are those memories and things. And so again, I'd like to wrap up and thank you for the memories, the players, the former players, alumni, everybody that's helped get me to this point. And I'd like to thank the Hall of Fame for the opportunity. Thank you.
Keeping it under that 8 minutes. You guys are good. Or you listen to Lee. Our next inductee is a player who kind of stood out in the crowd in his younger years, and that is the star football player and track and field legend from Bay City, John Glenn, Joe Denay. Playing for Hall of Fame head football coach John Loop, Joe was the kind of player Coach Loop wanted for his power football style of play. Joe, the 98 graduate, earned all state honors in both football and at track while at Glenn. Football players who played across from Joe said that it was not the most enjoyable time playing football for them, and this went on the varsity level for 3 years. During his senior season of football, Joe seemed to get a little bit of a mean streak in him, and that streak made him the number 3 rated offensive lineman in the Midwest, and that's when the University of Michigan came a-calling. Go Blue. Before he left for Michigan, he finished his track and field career as a 3-time state qualifier, winning the shot put title in 1998. During his career with the Wolverines, Joe was part of 2 Big Ten championships, 5 New Year's Day bowl games, and Michigan was ranked in the top 20 every year he played. During his time in Ann Arbor, the Wolverines went 47-15, were 27-4 at the Big House, while he achieved all Big Ten academic honors. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Joe Denay to the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame.
Good evening. I'm gonna stretch this thing up here. Don't start my clock yet. I'm not ready. I gotta unlock this note. All right. Good evening, everybody. I'm very humbled to be up here. I gotta be honest with you. I'm especially humbled to share this stage with Major General. You know, I throw a steel ball. Great. I play football in front of 110,000 people. I get that privilege. Great. Major General. Hats off. Hats off. Thanks, go Blue. And congratulations to all the other inductees tonight, the Hall of Fame itself, Lee Thompson, the voters. Lee, you're a wonderfully talented writer, and I'm proud to call you a good friend. Appreciate that. You've been a big supporter of mine all these years, more than I maybe ever let you know. So let's move on. So I'm going to start with a great quote from Lloyd Carr. I live to it this day. I said, every day you either get better or you get worse. There's no staying the same. And I use that to this day, and I truly believe in that. And for all you youngins out there, take that and do what you want with it, but it's the truth. I'm 43 now, and I know that now more than I knew 20 years ago, that's for sure. Like everybody else here, I'm not here on my own. A lot of people got me here. Friends, family, coaches, teachers, John Glenn boosters. I mean, I can't even tell you. I really probably don't even still understand to this day the amount of people that are behind where I am today. It's kind of astonishing to realize I'm standing here, honestly. It's John Lou. What else am I going to say? John Lou. And then tonight, Ken Fowler came out, my offensive line coach. And my other offensive line coach was Greg Wasmer my freshman year, but Ken Fowler, my first year in varsity, thank you for all the butt ripping, because you got me ready for the tremendous amount of butt ripping I was to have in the years to come. Toughen me up and get me ready for that next level. I can thank you so much for coming out tonight. I haven't seen you in a long time, and I'm so thankful that you're here. A couple of Michigan coaches who aren't here tonight, but Fred Jackson in particular. Fred Jackson came to Bay City and recruited me, and to this day I'm ever grateful forever for him for giving me the opportunity. Andy Moeller was my other offensive line coach at Michigan. Jerry Hanlon was Bo Schembechler's offensive line coach, and he and Coach Fowler shared a lot, that they just had this exquisite art of butt ripping, and taught me a lot, so that was good. And I can't forget Lloyd Carr. My brother Ben, my one and only, came here tonight. Thank you, brother. I love you. Always my biggest supporter. His boys, Drew and Brennan, were here earlier. They had to go. They had a commitment they had to be to. Can't thank you enough, and I'm so proud to have you as my brother. My parents, Mike and Kathy, here tonight. My rocks. Every game. Every meet. Sorry. Whether I was playing or not, or winning or losing, they were always there. So, a lot of trials and tribulations, and to have you always there was everything. Sorry. So, luckily, I did get one thing on my dad. I got to win that state championship. He didn't, but his name is still on that wall at John Glenn's gymnasium for that shot put. He taught me how to throw the shot. I never beat him in competition. I I only missed him by a couple inches. He made it really hard on me. You know, it was about 6 or 7 inches. I thought, well, I got to win the states, but not beat his record. How am I going to get right in there? But I managed to do it and let him have that state. Let him have that school record. 4 minutes, halfway through, not bad. Dad, role model, mentor, coach, friend. Still trying to live up to what you did. Mom, your love and support, the reason I am where I am right now. I'm sorry. Sorry for all those years. I'm a father now. I have twins that are going on 7, boy, girl, and apparently he's a lot like me. And I now appreciate why she called every one of her gray hairs Joseph. So, sorry, Mom, and thank you for hanging in there and not giving up on me. And past friends and past teammates, too. I can't forget you guys. I got a couple of really good friends here tonight. And that picture, Lee, next time, if I'd have known, I could have got you a better picture. The 1 year I don't smile. That team picture, I was having a bad day that day, and I would have thought 20 years later they put that on the program at the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame. I mean, come on. You're killing me. But that neck, there's a guy here tonight who's responsible for that neck. He was one of the guys who worked in the weight room and ripped my butt some more, but then again, built me into who I am today. And Kyle, thank you so much. All right. Summer 2001, going into my 4th year at Michigan, I meet the love of my life, my wife, Carrie. We made it 17 years now. We've got our kiddos together. She came into my life and changed me forever for the better. She gave me that last bit of growing up that I needed. She actually spent her college years in a car with my parents going all over the country to watch me not play that much. Honestly. It was pretty amazing. And, maybe, I don't know, did you guys fly anywhere? I don't think you did. I think you drove to every single game. You flew to Washington, yes. My God, I wouldn't do that, so you're a saint. And I can't leave out your parents, my second parents, her parents, Keith and Sandy. You know, huge supporters of mine. They were at all the bowl games. You know, we had a lot of those New Year's Day bowl games are great. But, you know, it is the holidays, and you are young, and you're away from your family, and if your family can't come be with you, it's a bit of a trying time. But luckily, my family was always there, so super thrilled for that. I already mentioned my kids, James and Clara. He's on his way to being maybe as tall as I am. She's probably going to be there, too. They couldn't be here tonight. They're a bit young. We almost brought them, but I was distracted enough tonight, so I figured my in-laws were nice enough to stay home with them and keep an eye on them. But I don't have much else to say tonight other than thank you for the 8 minutes. It's very, very humbling to stand up here. And I really, really appreciate everybody's support and love over the years. And I'll say go Bobcats and go Blue.
I'm gonna put this thing down to point guard level. Okay, our second team to be inducted tonight, you could say that they were a dynasty on the softball field. The 1987, 89, and the 90, basically All Saints Cougars, may have finished runner-up those years, but it was a stretch of 5 straight state final matchup. As always, during that incredible run, the Cougars were led by Hall of Fame head coach Brad Walraven. The 87 Lady Cougars fell to a very tough Ottawa Lake Whiteford team in the finals, 6-5, and they ended the year with an impressive 33-6 record, with 3 players making it to the All-State team. In 89, the Cougars were supposed to be in a rebuilding year, winning the districts and regionals and beating Frankfort in semis. In the finals, in 89, Allendale posted a tough win over All Saints, 8-5, finishing that rebuilding year at 22-17. In the 90 season, the Cougars are back in the state championship after winning a tough semifinal against Old Fold Frankfort, and Frankfort was waiting for them in the state championship, unfortunately losing to Frankfort. The Cougars finished with 4 players earning all-state honors that year. For 5 straight years, Coach Walraven and the Cougars played in the state championship game, and what an incredible run it was. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Coach Brad Walraven and his Lady Cougars from 1987, 1989, and 1990 to the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame.
No one has the what is going on?
Okay, I'd like to thank the committee for the induction of the 1987, 89, and 90 teams. I'd like to congratulate all the inductees, including the 1973 Bay City Central Golf Team and the 1993 Western Wrestling Team. I would also like to thank Lee Thompson for the nice article written of our three teams. The three teams honored tonight had successful seasons despite losing in the state championship games. The 87 team, state runner-up, lost in a one-run game and went 33-6. The 89 state runner-up, it was a rebuilding year. We lost 8 seniors from the previous year and went into the state tournament with a 16-16 record. But this team found a way to win in the state tournament, winning the regionals, 2 one-run games and a one-run semifinal game before losing 8-5. And the 90 team finished the season with a 33-12 record and also made a nice run finishing the season strong, losing in the state finals to Frankfurt. Though the final outcome wasn't what we wanted, these three teams were part of a foundation and established the culture and tradition for the softball program at Bay City All Saints. The 87 and even the 1986 team, which was the Final Four team, set the foundation for the 88 team to win the state championship. And the 89 and 90 kept that tradition going, and it was the reason the 1991 team won the state championship. These women up here have created great accomplishments and great memories to share with their children and family and friends. It was during those times and years with these women, the parents, the school. They were great memories for everybody. The softball program was off and running. Any coach would be very pleased to have coached this outstanding group of women who all were great student athletes in their day, and many have gone on to coach their kids in softball and one in baseball. Tom Clements, my assistant coach for many years, and myself are so proud of having coached these women and the successful seasons they had. It was a great run of success for our program, which put us on the map as a softball school and powerhouse. These teams being honored tonight are the reason for the program's success and established the culture, which I already said already, that has carried on into the 2000s. I'm proud to say that I was the coach of these teams. Meeting up last night and finding out how everyone was doing makes me even prouder as a coach to hear about themselves, the kids, and what they've been doing and making them successful. These teams produced 2 Division I scholarships, players with D1 scholarships, and 3 D2 scholarships. Also, we had 2 women from the 87 team and 1 from our 86 team that played on the national championship team at Saginaw Valley in 1989. So to honor these ladies tonight is so well deserving. And looking back at it, the team's accomplishments during that era and how it established our softball program at Bay City All Saints for years to come is a great accomplishment. Thank you to the Hall of Fame committee for recognizing these 3 teams, and thank you, ladies, for a great run and even greater memories. Thanks,
Don't forget those glasses. Those are important. Congratulations, ladies. Well done. Our next inductee into the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame is the legendary Bay City Central and Grand Valley State University football star Scott Mackey. Scott started playing all sports in his early years at the YMCA, Northeast Little League, and the Boys and Girls Club. During his years on the Wolves varsity team, he was an immediate impact player and was the 1998 Gold Helmet Player of the Year in Class A. On the basketball court, Scott averaged 14.6 points per game as a senior, and as a junior, helped the Wolves to a district championship. He was also a star on the track, doing great things, as he was state runner-up in the 400 as a junior, and he also ran while at Grand Valley State University. While playing for Coach Brian Kelly at Grand Valley State, he moved to defense, and the rest, as they say, is history. Scott was a big-time player with big play capabilities at Grand Valley State. During his career, Scott had 259 tackles, 14 and a half for loss, 20 pass deflections, 19 interceptions, and 705 yards in punt returns. In 2002, Scott was the GLIAC Defensive Player of the Year while being part of 2 national championship teams. Scott was also inducted into the Grand Valley State University Hall of Fame in 2022. Scott, you are now a member of the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Scott Mackey.
All right. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, fellow athletes, sports enthusiasts, it's with immense honor today and profound gratitude that I stand before you and accept this award. And as I do that, a lot of emotions go through my mind and a lot of memories as he's reading off these stats, which in my mind I always thought I had more, like, I had more yards, more and all this. And as he's doing that, it's funny to hear the real stats. No, I am very humbled and very honored for this award. As I drove in yesterday, I saw the sign for the first time. I think it's a new sign. Bay City being established in 1837, I think it was. And that just made me think, like, wow, this is so much history involved with this. And, it's just humbling, And it's funny, as I was thinking about, back in the day being at the community center and looking at all the other past inductees, I always thought, man, it'd be cool to be up here one day, And if you asked me if I would have been up here one day, I would have been like, yeah, I am going to be here one day. And that's just really goes to the immaturity and the long way I had to go from a mental standpoint, because I was not that good way back in the day. And that's why when I got the call from Coach Frazier, I was very happy, not for myself, but for the people that I get to stand up here and thank for this opportunity. My parents, I'm not gonna go too far into it. They're not here today. Seems like this is being recorded. So I am very thankful for my parents. They took me to every game. They were at every game, cheering, helping me practice to be the best. And I can't thank them enough. Even more so than that, they kept me on top of my books, on top of the studies, because they understood that to get to my ultimate goal, I would have to have a certain threshold of GPA and all of those other things. So as I now am in my professional endeavors and doing all the things professionally that I want to do, I can only thank them very much for keeping me on top of that, because now I got all, bachelor's, master's, all these different degrees and all these different, mountaintops I had to climb from a professional standpoint. So I'm so grateful for that. My journey started really, I always wanted to be a basketball player. I watching NBA, I used to, oh man, I can't wait to one day I get to play in the NBA and this and that. And I used to go out and practice Woodside, Handy, playing all these teams. And then I just wasn't getting taller. I just wasn't getting taller. And, my brother, who's 4 years younger than me, he's taller than me. By the time he was in 8th grade, and my cousins, everybody was so tall. And I quickly figured out, like, okay, I need to pivot here, because basketball is probably not going to be in the cards for me. So luckily enough, I was able to excel at other sports. And seeing Coach Frazier, I always thought, man, I wish I could play varsity, as a freshman, and then as a sophomore, man, why can't just put me on varsity, this and that. And I really have to thank Coach Frazier for not doing that, because he understood that I was not ready, and from a physical and mental standpoint. And that really helped me understand the patience, the requisite patience necessary to really build yourself up first. Go through the process, go through the steps. Can't just rely on your talent. You have to study, lift, run, do all of the things necessary to be at that particular level. So, Coach, I appreciate that. I know that I wasn't so appreciative back then, but I really want to thank you for that. As well as, all of the people that, are here today that I can't recognize a lot of you. I'm sorry. I do a little bit, but I wish I could. I know a lot of you had a hand in me being here today, and I greatly appreciate that. But every time I get an award like this, and I've been fortunate enough to do that, I always think about the challenges. Every time that someone gets a touchdown, all the touchdowns, everything I got, I always made sure to thank my teammates, and that comes from my time at Bay City Central. Really, Coach Frazier, Sullivan, Brady, Zanotti, all those guys, the whole crew, really drilled the foundation, the basics into me. Hey, you got the touchdown, but that wasn't you. This person blocked for you. This person did this. This person, it's a team. It's always about team. They preached it and preached it and preached it. And it wasn't until after I left Central that I really grasped that concept and took it with me to Grand Valley. And I told Lee this, who wrote an amazing article, made me sound really, really good in that article. I wish I was the person I was at Grand Valley at Bay City Central, because probably wouldn't have had a losing record, and but I would have been a better teammate, and that made the process more enjoyable for everyone. But that wasn't because of the lack of coaching and teaching and mentorship that was available. They were there, they were teaching it, and it finally clicked once I left, and could not be more grateful for those folks. To my kids, Lawson, Harris, Sylvie. Yeah, you guys can stand up. Go ahead, stand up. It's fine. Just ever since they come into my life, it's really set the stage for me on another level. They're going to excel in sports. They were so much better than I was from a physical standpoint, and now a mental standpoint. And I'm just excited to see their journey and guide them through their journey. And they've really taught me more than I can ever teach them. So I love you guys, and I thank you guys for that. And now for my favorite part of this whole thing, I need to recognize someone who was there from the very beginning of my Central journey, one of my best friends in the world. And it's funny because I always talk about my journey and who had a big part of it. And my wife, Amy, could you please stand up, Amy? Yeah, I'm going to do it. I have to do it. Could you please stand up? Yeah, she, I met her back in '97 or something like that, a long time ago, and she's been there cheering for me ever since, from then until now, being my biggest support. And for that, I am forever grateful, and I love you for that. So, in closing, I just want to say thank you to the board, thank you to everyone. I've got about 5 seconds left, so I just want to say thank you to everyone. Good night.
Good job, Scott. Good job, Scott. I know all about that. I'm not going to get taller gene, too, so I know how you feel. Our next Hall of Famer is that superstar athlete from the Pinconning area Spartans, and her name is Jill Lebourdais. Jill is what you might want to call a perfectionist during her athletic career at Pinconning and CMU. In her early years, Jill helped the Essexville Hampton team to the World Series and pitched for the state champion DeWise Builders at the ripe old age of 16. Volleyball was not her main sport, but she did earn honorable mention All-State and was on the 1992 state championship team. While playing softball for Penny, the Spartans had an unbelievable record of 106 wins with 11 losses. Jill was also an All-Stater in 1991 and 1992. During her time at Penn County, Jill had 157 career hits, 139 runs, 81 stolen bases, 58 wins, 9 no-hitters, 577 strikeouts, 0.34 ERA, and sold an occasional bag of popcorn between innings. The greatness earned her a spot on the CMU softball team. Jill contributed not only inside the pitching circle, she also played first base, and she was the designated hitter when they needed her. Jill was part of 2 MAC championships in 94 and 96, twice named All-Region, first team All-MAC her senior year while hitting .331. She also had 6 saves and 24 victories. After graduation from CMU, she assisted with a couple of storied programs at Unionville-Sebring and at Bay City All Saints. Jill, congratulations and welcome to the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame.
All right, well, thank you very much for the honor of being inducted into the Hall of Fame. So many prestigious inductees over the years. I'm very grateful for this induction. Some of you here who know me from pinconning and softball through the years, some may say I have a reputation of being a bit of a talker, but lucky for you, I've been in psychiatry 15 years and I'm a much better listener than talker. So the goal tonight is to convey my message and my gratitude in as few words as possible. First, I'm very humbled by the award because several reasons. Primarily because I feel a lot of my success were due to things that I really didn't have any control over. For example, first, being born to loving and supportive parents, that sets you up for success. And I want to thank my parents, my mom and dad for everything. I really would have none of these accomplishments or successes, any of these things without you or certainly by the grace of God. Second, being raised in a small town in Linwood, Michigan, there's a lot to be said just going out to play and not being concerned about violence or the whole town takes care of you. Being able to do those things without any concerns is a big deal. Also, inheriting genes to be 5'10" is beneficial. I have boots on tonight, so I'm a little taller than that, but that's a big advantage. I had no control over that. Growing up in a time when Title IX was really being put into effect and gender equity, the benefits to me personally were really huge, and opportunities, the resources, and the collective support for young women. Fifth, growing up in Bay County, where the local newspaper recognized that young female athletes had just as much to offer as our male counterparts. That really makes an impact on a young female athlete's self-esteem and self-worth. So thank you to Lee Thompson and really the unsung heroes, I feel, of the Bay City Times and the media. It really made a big difference, and I'm sure the All Saints softball team would feel the same, and Major General Hoyle as well. So I never felt that there was any discrimination, so to speak, for us as female athletes growing up. Sixth, having amazing coaches that are in the Hall of Fame. It's kind of difficult not to be successful when you have Coach Margot Yonker, who's in the Hall of Fame everything. I'm so honored to have her here with me tonight. She certainly taught me softball, but was really my first female professional role model. And so many things kind of go back to seeing, how to handle difficult umpires. When it's worth picking your battles and when it's probably best to just go back in the dugout. Also, Hall of Fame, another Hall of Fame inductee, Fred Nearing, who also got me started in coaching in Little League, coaching me and then mentoring me in softball as well to coach. So I will take credit for one thing. Anybody that played volleyball for fellow inductee coach Jeff Williams, volleyball and pinconning, anybody that survived that should be in the Hall of Fame. I never told Coach Yonker, but conditioning at Division I really wasn't much compared to what I went through in high school. It's really, really unbelievable. And the only one story I want to tell was Mr. Williams was our vice principal and athletic director and teacher. So in the hallways, he was always kind of keeping an eye on us. And so I walked up to him my junior year. I just decided to play volleyball. And I looked at the schedule, and the first day of practice, it said 5:30 to 9:30 p.m. And I naively went up to him. I said, Mr. Williams, is this a mistake? Is this a typo? And he said, no, 3 hours in the gym and then 1 hour in the weight room afterward. So I thought, well, probably the 6-hour practice on Saturday is legitimate too, I would say. So, I mean, it was really intense. But I mean, he really taught us about perseverance and dedication. So I'm quite grateful for that too, in the work ethic. You know, having also amazing family and siblings who are also very supportive. My sister Michelle, she changed her wedding date to accommodate my summer softball schedule. My sister Lane, I would say every athlete needs a younger sibling who is not that impressed with your accomplishments. I mean, I always told her thank you for keeping me humble, because it was like a big deal. My sister Robin, you know, she tried to play catch with me and play basketball with me the best that she could. My late brother Scott, he would, you know, throw fly balls from the back side of the house to the front side of the house, and I don't know how I didn't, you know, break a tooth or knock front teeth out just with that. So my siblings were, you know, very supportive and such a tremendous gift. I had never had any career-ending injuries, no season-ending injuries, none, other than some issues with a ball hitting my face and front tooth, but it didn't keep me from playing or just from smiling. That was about it. 10th, you know, I'm really convinced the reason why I was accepted into the physician assistant school at CMU really was because of playing college softball. It really gave me an advantage. It was very competitive. Even in the late 90s, it was very competitive. And I just really owe so much to the sport of softball and sports in general. Because of softball, I was able to have found my niche in psychiatry. I work taking care of patients with severe mental illness in Bay County and Saginaw County and a lot of other places in Michigan, able to employ about 15 nurse practitioners and other physician assistants to provide care for these folks. And I'm really proud to still be in the community and giving back in those ways. So a lot of these things, all results of all of these things, I really had no control over, and it really was hard not to be successful when you're set up like this. So I thought maybe one last thing, maybe my work ethic, maybe that's something I could take credit for myself. But then I thought about that further and realized that being a daughter and a granddaughter of farmers, you know, the work ethic automatically is there too. So I really couldn't take much credit for that either. So with all that being said, I still am very grateful and appreciative of the recognition and the induction into the Hall of Fame, and all the time everybody put into me and my successes. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Joe. Congratulations. Our next inductee has had an absolutely incredible career spanning 50 years as a coach and a basketball and baseball official, and that is Joe Ricard. Joe said that he wasn't much of a player in his day, but he loved to soak everything up he could to become a great coach in basketball, football, baseball, and tennis. Joe's a 1970 graduate of Bay City All Saints who loved the competition while coaching in the Northeast Little League and the St. Boniface track team. I did not know St. Boniface had a track team. That's the first. Wow. Joe spent 41 years in education as a physical ed and industrial arts teacher. Excuse me. Coach started his career in Bridgeport with stints at Birch Run, Newville, Frankenmuth, and at Bay City Central. When the opportunity to coach in his own backyard at Bay City Central came, he took full advantage of it. Before Joe took over the Wolves, they had a few lean years, and he led them to a winning season during his first years. Joe stepped away from coaching in 2007, but continued his officiating career for 33 years, and Joe was a girls basketball official and baseball umpire. One year, the Central Wolves were looking for a tennis coach, and Hall of Famer Morley Frazier asked Joe if he would coach, and of course, Joe said yes, not knowing much about tennis. Joe coached the boys for 16 years and the girls for 9 seasons. He was 3-time Saginaw Valley League Coach of the Year, president of the Bay Community Tennis Association, and he led the campaign and efforts to build the Jopke tennis courts at the old Thomas Jefferson School site on Park Avenue in Bay City. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would please welcome Joe Ricard to the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame.
I love that, Ricard. I love when you say that. I have a quick story about Mike Guazzella. When we moved to 7th Street, our house backed up to Mike's house on 6th Street. Between the two houses, there was a field. It was really an empty lot, I'm sure, it's just a field. And my younger brothers and Mike and the neighborhood kids would play football out there and baseball out there, okay? Our oldest brother was in a wheelchair his entire life. He was born with spina bifida and hydrocephalus, but he was a huge sports fan in the family. So he would go out there to watch these games going on. Mike would take my brother, his name's Marty, and he would push him around the base paths. And Mike, we will never forget that, and we are so appreciative of that, buddy. I just... A big thanks to the Hall of Fame board. It's really cool for me. My aunt, my favorite aunt, is in this Hall of Fame. Her name's Eileen Langley. I think she's in the class of '95. It's kind of special to be in here with your aunt. Huge thanks to all the people who voted for me, voted for my colleagues up here. Special thanks to Lee T. Lee, as everybody said, you just do a great, great job. And congratulations to everybody up here, everybody who's been inducted today, and everybody who's been inducted in the past. This is truly, truly an honor. I keep one team picture on my desk as the first team I coached. Short Freight Lines, Northeast Minor League Baseball team, back in '93. One of the boys on that team lost his life to the illness of suicide. And when I looked at that picture recently, getting my speech together, I thought of all the blessings that I've had in my career. We have 2 daughters, both live outstate, but both are in education, which of course makes a guy like me really proud of my daughters. My siblings, there are 7 kids in the family, and most of them are here today. Tony Rick says I'm only here because everybody in Bay City knows Rick or Pat, but I'm not sure that's true. I'm here and they're there. But I mean, it's a blessing to have a family like that. My in-laws are here. My niece Kylie and her fiance Caleb are here. Kylie, they're getting married next year. Congratulations on that. That's a great blessing to have them along here also. Lifelong friends, a couple are here today. Mach is the first guy I meet when I come to Bay City, and been with me all the way and calls me and gives me updates all the time. My buddy Tom, I would not be a teacher if Tom did not get me through Central Michigan University, and he swears that's the truth. We both know that's the truth. My other buddy Mike, who's coached with me, we've been together for a long, long time, been on a lot of scouting trips, ice cream trips, bus rides together. A real blessing to have them. You know, all the many, many people that have mentored me. You know, every person you work with has an influence on you. And everybody from the custodians, the maintenance guys, to the cafeteria cooks, to the superintendents. I'm just blessed with all the people that I've worked with. Special thanks to Morley and Marty for giving me the chance to come back to Bay City, a town I grew up in. And really lots of things have happened. Lots of blessings have come because of that. A real blessing out of that, many students and players. You know, when you do this for 41 years, you really do run into lots of people. And I just bumped into 3 former players today, 1 tonight. And you think when they're 16, 17, and 18, you never know. And it's just terrific to see them as adults and to know how they have influenced me also. And then after all that was said and done and I retired, I got a family of tennis people, Bay Community Tennis Association. If you aren't aware of that, that's a group of people that have raised probably about $1 million in 5 or 6 short years, with hardly anybody knowing about it. Many of you don't even know we have tennis courts in Bay City. But that group of people that raised $1 million built 8 brand new, beautiful tennis courts, kind of adopted me. Two old guys, John West and myself, they let us into that little young tennis playing clan, and I'm so appreciative of that. My biggest blessing happened 47 years ago when I married Mary Jane Jazuski, and she has been there. Mary, I remember that first junior high dance we chaperoned together in Bridgeport at the old junior high, and going up to Pinconning and sitting in the freezing snow hoping we made a playoff game. Remember that? And all the team dinners you gave us and all the cookies and baking. And when we got back from the Palace one year, I was really lucky. We got back from the Palace one year, and this was the day before big fan clubs and police escorts and all that. We got back from the Palace, had won a game at the Palace, and there was one person waiting for us when we got off the bus, and that was Mary Jane. And honey, I love you, and I appreciate you so much, and I promise I'll never take another coaching job. So thank you to everybody, and God bless all.
Thank you, Joe. It was, as Sue Martin right here in front of me will attest, it was a great neighborhood to grow up in. Just a little addition to that, when that field used to flood, it used to be a lumber yard my parents owned before they were the first owner after the lumber yard was closed. It would flood, so we would all go out to Coanacasee and catch fish and come back to the field because it was like knee deep or thigh deep. We'd put those fish in the field, they'd swim around, we'd catch them again for the rest of the spring and put them back. So, but it was a great place to grow up with those guys. So thanks, Joe. Our third team and final inductees for tonight is that fabulous 1993 wrestling team and state runner-up from Bay City Western. Leading the team as head coach was Jerry Hoffman, in 4 seasons coaching this team to a state runner-up. Bay City Western opened in 1973, and 20 years later, the 93 team finished the season with an impressive 32-1-1 record. That year, the Warriors won the Bay County and the Saginaw Valley League Championship, won its 5th straight district and 3rd regional title. In the state quarterfinals, Western whipped up on Troy 46-14 and did the same to Royal Oak Kimball in the state semifinals 63-6. In the final, Western faced a very tough Granville team for the second time in 1993, losing a hard-fought match 29-20. In the final matches, Chahaki, Wazowski, Beaver, Villano, and Whitaker were all victorious for the Warriors. Also in 93, Coach Hoffman was named Class A Wrestling Coach of the Year, with 11 of the 13 wrestlers qualifying for regionals and 7 advancing to the state finals. Brian Beaver that year went 54-0 and won the 130-pound state championship. Jeremy Whitaker placed 5th at 275, and Mike Wyrowski finished 6th at a $125. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mark Nirenberg and the 1993 Bay City Warrior Wrestling Team to the Bay County Sports Hall of Fame. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike, for saying exactly everything I was going to say.
We can hear you.
All right. As you can see in front of you, what you're looking at is the greatest high school wrestling team in the county of Western history. This team was an absolute honor to coach. Captains were Art Warner, Chad Canuti, and Brian Beaver. That year, this team, as I say, they were 32-1-1, a 4-time county champions, 4-time valley champions, In 1983, we had 81 wrestlers. We finished the season with 58 wrestlers on that team. This is the hardest working team I've ever been blessed to coach. In the morning, they would wake up. They would go work out. They would work out for an hour and a half, 2 hours before every day we practiced. The final game of the football season, I remember Jerry Hoffman. We were incredibly close. I truly think of that man every day in my life. He was like a father to me, to every one of these guys up here. They would do anything for him, and that's why we were so good. We played Bay City Central. I don't know if we won or lost. We were walking off the field, and Jerry looks at me and he goes, "Well, boys, and Joe LaFrown boys, it's time to wrestle." And we knew what we had. We had an amazing group of guys. I want to thank Marty Gottesman. Marty, without you, we truly would not be. I can remember you helping us out so much during the season. You've always been there for me and Joe. I want to introduce real quick each one of these wrestlers. One of our captains, Art Warner, Chad Canuti, another captain, Jeremy Whitaker, Keith Villant, Captain, I'm sorry. I'm going to get it so hard after that later on. Keith Villano, Brian Beaver, Brian Rivette, Matt Beaver, I'm sorry, Jeff Warner, Daryl Burnett, Sean Clifford, Jason Klinsky, and assistant coach Ed Jaworski. Jerry was an incredibly special person. If you knew Jerry, you loved Jerry, and you know what Jerry was like. These guys would do anything for Jerry. A funny story that I want to talk about is the way that Jerry would, these gentlemen would do anything for him, like I said, I'm repeating myself. But when he told you something, you would listen, and you would do it. And no matter what he would say in a situation, he had the right words to say. We were at a very, very tough tournament called Goodrich, and it's a tournament of champions. Only the top 20 teams are invited to this tournament. In this match, we have a wrestler out there, and he's wrestling A-stud. And our guy's good. Our guy's really good. And our guy's getting thumped. And Jerry looks at him, and there's a fight breaks out. So we have to go out on the man. We got to break him up. Okay. Our guy's down by 10. The match gets over. They get into another scuffle. We break him up again. We bring him over to the corner, and Jerry grabs him, and he shakes him, and he says, "You look at me and you listen to me very carefully. That guy just kicked your butt out on the mat. There's a great chance he's going to kick your butt off the mat, too." Our guy looked at him and went, "You know what, Coach, you're right. You're right." And there was never another word. I only have 4 minutes and 35 seconds, and that's way too long for me to talk. I was part of the '86 team, and I give some of these guys a lot of hey, settle down. We were 26-1, and we had 2 undefeated state champions, and we were very good. And I'm here to say in front of everybody, because I always go back and forth, you guys are the greatest team in the history of Bay City Western. So with that being said, I'd like to say, also, I do want to say, I'm kind of backing up a bit, I want to thank this DoubleTree Bay County Hall of Fames. I'd like to thank everybody that donated those wonderful gifts out there. Those cookies, those were so good. They looked amazing. I eat those every day. We actually own the cookie company that made those cookies. So if anybody wants them, they can have, yeah. I could not be more proud to call you guys my wrestlers and to be up here. I know that we're all thinking about Jerry. We all wish Joe was here. I'm proud of every one of you guys. That's all I can really say. So thank you very much, everybody, for coming. Again, round of applause for these guys. These guys are the best of the best. Thank you very much.
Good job, man. Don't forget your glasses, guys. Jerry was the head athletic trainer at Bay City Western, and he always had a huge bag of candy out at practices. It was full of atomic fireballs and Tootsie Rolls for the coaches. So I remember Jerry very well. Congratulations, fellas. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to end our program. But before we leave for tonight, a big thank you to our premier sponsor, Renew Physical Therapy, all of our sponsors. And if you would, let's give our inductees, our teams, and our President's Award one more standing ovation before we leave.